The Galactic Council chamber was built to intimidate. It was larger than any city on Earth, shaped like a hollow star, filled with towering seats and glowing symbols of power. Hundreds of alien species watched from their platforms as the session continued. This meeting was supposed to be routine. No one expected history to change here. The air vibrated with overlapping voices. Some delegates argued, others laughed softly. The topic was listed as a regional security action, a minor operation already completed. The species responsible spoke with pride, explaining how quickly resistance had ended on a small blue world called Earth. Many council members barely listened. Earth was marked as weak long ago. Divided governments, slow ships, loud signals, easy prey. The galaxy had seen such worlds countless times. The council had approved the action without a vote. Decision now hovered in the air like a shadow. At the edge of the chamber stood the human envoy. He was small compared to most beings present. No armor, no visible weapons, just a dark uniform and calm eyes. He had not spoken once since arriving. Some mistook his silence for fear. Others ignored him completely. As the alien commander finished his report, he smiled. He described cities burning, satellites falling, and oceans lighting up from orbit. He said Earth would surrender soon. The chamber echoed with approval clicks and low hums. Victory had been cheap. That mattered to the council. The human envoy took one step forward. The sound of his boots was soft, but it carried. The chamber slowly quieted, not out of respect, but curiosity. A few eyes turned toward him. The commander paused, annoyed.
Oh.
Humans were not supposed to interrupt. The human spoke calmly. His voice was steady and clear, translated instantly into hundreds of languages. You attacked Earth? The words were simple, almost harmless, yet the effect was immediate. The chamber fell silent. No laughter followed, no insults. Even the light seemed to dim. The alien commander frowned, confused by the sudden stillness. He opened his mouth to answer, then hesitated. Something felt wrong. He glanced at his data display. It flickered. Council archivists shifted uncomfortably. Senior strategists leaned forward. One by one, screens across the chamber began updating. New symbols appeared, red indicators. Delayed transmissions finally pushed through long-range interference. The first report showed an attacking fleet losing contact minutes after entering Earth's orbit. Another showed ground forces surrounded, then gone. Entire squadrons vanished from sensors. No debris fields, no surrender signals, just silence. The commander's smile faded. The human envoy did not move. He waited. Council technician spoke, voice shaking. He said Earth's communication blackout was artificial. Humans had gone silent on purpose. They had shut down their networks, not from damage, but choice. The council had mistaken discipline for collapse. More data arrived. Human cities still stood. Power grids rerouted in seconds. Civilian evacuation patterns showed planning far beyond expectations. Earth had not panicked. It had prepared. The commander tried to speak again, claimed delays were normal. Humans were hiding. This was denial, and everyone knew it. The council chamber filled with uneasy movements. Some delegates began pulling their limbs closer, protective without realizing why. Another report arrived from deep space. Human warships had been detected far from Earth. Old hull designs heavily modified, no standard formations, no predictable paths. They used gravitational shadows, asteroid fields, and even their own damaged ships as cover. It was messy. It was effective. The council had never seen war fought this way. The human envoy finally spoke again. He did not raise his voice, did not threaten. He believed Earth was weak because we argue, he said. You believed we were divided because we disagree. You saw noise and thought it was chaos. He paused, letting the words settle. What you attacked, he continued, was a species that survives by adapting, one that plans for failure, one that assumes the worst and prepares anyway. Some council members looked away. Others stared at the human as if seeing him for the first time. A senior elder asked what Earth wanted. The question was careful now, respectful. The human envoy answered without hesitation. First, he said, you stop calling this a minor action. Second, you listen, because what you started is not over. It will not end the way you expect. More alarms sounded. New reports confirmed human counterattacks. Not large, precise. Supply lines cut. Command ships disabled, but not destroyed. Humans were studying their enemy while fighting them. The Council realized something terrible. Earth was learning. The human envoy took a step back, signaling he was done. He did not need to say more. The message was clear. Humanity was not begging. It was informing. As the council chamber remained frozen in shock and silence, one truth spread among them all. They had not attacked a weak world. They had awakened something that refused to break. The silence inside the Galactic Council did not break when the human envoy left. It hardened. Screens continued to update, each one adding weight to the same terrible truth. Earth was still fighting, not wildly, not desperately. Calmly, the council members who had approved the strike now avoided looking at one another, as if eye contact itself could assign blame. Long before the attack, Earth had been studied, categorized, and dismissed. The records were clear. Humans argued too much. Their governments changed often. Their broadcasts were loud and emotional. To the council, unity meant silence and obedience. Humanity's noise looked like weakness. No one had considered that debate could sharpen a species instead of breaking it. A senior analyst brought up the original assessment. He explained how Earth ranked low in galactic threat models. Human ships were outdated, their weapons inefficient, their alliances unstable. Even their home system was considered exposed. The Council had seen dozens of worlds like this fall in days. Earth was expected to follow the same path. What the models never measured was human memory. Humans remembered invasions from their own past. They remembered empires, wars, and extinctional-level fears. Their history was not a straight line of progress, but a cycle of survival. Every failure became a lesson. Every loss became a warning passed forward. When alien probes first appeared near Earth decades ago, humanity did not panic. It archived everything. Hidden beneath cities and oceans were facilities the Council had never detected. It's not secret because of advanced cloaking, but because they were designed to look unimportant. Old designs, civilian labels, redundancy stacked on redundancy. Humans assumed systems would fail and built replacements before the first was even finished. A military delegate interrupted the analyst, demanding to know why no surrender signal had been received. The answer unsettled the chamber. Humans did not include surrender as a default protocol. Their emergency doctrines focused on continuity of command, civilian protection, and retaliation options. Surrender was a political choice, not an automated response. Another report arrived, detailing the first hours of the invasion. Human satellites did not fight back. They moved. Some deorbited, others blinded themselves. It looked like collapse to the attackers. In reality, it was denial. Humans had erased targets faster than the enemy could lock on. What could not be saved was sacrificed without hesitation. The Council began to understand the pattern too late. Human fleets that once appeared scattered were not disorganized. They were decentralized by design. Each group operated independently, sharing only minimal data. Cutting communication did not slow them down. It made them harder to predict. Every commander on every ship was trained to act alone if needed. A cultural observer spoke next, voice unsteady. He explained that humans did not see war as a test of strength alone. They saw it as a test of will. Losing territory did not mean losing resolve. Civilian morale reports from Earth showed grief, anger, and fear, but not surrender. The population had accepted loss as the price of survival. That acceptance terrified the Council. More data confirmed that humans were already reverse engineering captured alien technology. Not perfectly, not safely, but quickly. They tested weapons in live combat, accepted casualties, and improved within hours. Where other species waited for certainty, humans advanced through risk. One council elder finally said what many were thinking. The attack failed not because of poor planning, but because the assumptions were wrong. Earth was never insignificant. It was simply misunderstood. Humans did not seek peace because they feared war. They sought it because they knew exactly what war cost. As the session dragged on, a final update appeared on the central display. A human task force had bypassed defended systems and struck a logistical hub thought to be unreachable. The message attached was short and untranslated, sent on an open channel. It are still here. The council chamber felt smaller after that. They had tried to crush humanity quickly. Instead, they had given it time. And time, the Council was beginning to realize, was humanity's most dangerous weapon. The first confirmed survivor report arrived from a crippled alien cruiser drifting near Earth's outer moon. Its commander spoke with confusion instead of pride. He said human ships did not chase or flee. They waited. They used broken satellites as traps and detonated their own disabled craft to blind sensors. Victory felt planned against him long before he arrived. More reports followed, each worse than the last. Human fighters used uneven speeds, sudden stops, and reckless turns that no training manual allowed. Alien targeting systems failed because humans refused to fly correctly. They broke formation, broke rules, and broke expectations. The attackers realized they were fighting thinking enemies, not frightened prey. On Earth's surface, invasion forces expected chaos. Instead, they found empty streets and sealed cities. Civilians had vanished underground hours before the first strike. Automated defenses activated only after enemies landed, forcing attackers into narrow zones where every step was watched. Humans did not defend everywhere. They defended where it mattered. A Council War historian noticed something disturbing. Human resistance patterns looked familiar, even ancient. They resembled tactics used by extinct species long ago. Humanity had studied old wars across the galaxy using intercepted data. They learned from civilizations that failed and corrected their mistakes. Humans treated history as a weapon. Alien ground commanders reported psychological strain. Humans broadcast no threats, no speeches, no victory claims. They spoke only to each other, using simple, coded language. Silence replaced noise. When humans did speak to enemies, it was brief and calm, often warning civilians to leave before destruction followed. One report described a human unit surrounded by 3 times its number. Instead of retreating, they advanced into fire, disabled power systems, and collapsed the structure on themselves and the enemy. Their final transmission was not a cry for help, but confirmation of success. The Council struggled to understand such choices. A strategist finally said what others feared. Humans accepted death as part of planning, not failure. Their soldiers were trained to finish missions, even if survival was unlikely. This did not mean humans wanted to die. It meant they refused to let fear decide outcomes. That mindset alone shifted the balance. The Council learned that Earth's leaders had not centralized command. Cities, fleets, and colonies operated with local authority. Decapitation strikes failed because there was no single head. Removing one command node changed nothing. Humanity functioned like a network designed to lose pieces and continue anyway. Captured alien weapons appeared on human ships within days. They were unstable, modified, and dangerous, but humans used them without hesitation. Test failures were recorded and corrected in real time. Losses were accepted. Progress mattered more than perfection. This speed frightened even seasoned Council tacticians. Civilian broadcasts from Earth leaked through. They did not beg for mercy. They documented damage, honored the dead, and encouraged production. Factories ran day and night. Children were evacuated. Schools became shelters. Humanity did not collapse inward, tightened around its core and pushed outward. An alien admiral admitted his fleet withdrew not from damage alone, but confusion. Humans created battlefields that changed every minute. No pattern lasted long enough to exploit. Every success turned into a trap. Every retreat became an ambush. Fighting humans felt like chasing a moving shadow. The Council finally understood the danger of adaptation. Humans did not wait to understand enemies fully. They learned while fighting. Each battle made them stronger. Each mistake improved the next strike. Time favored humanity, not the attackers. Prolonging war meant empowering Earth. A final report ended the session. A human strike group had destroyed a listening post near the Council's own borders. The attack avoided civilians and left a single message burned into metal walls. It was not a threat. It was a statement of intent. We will be heard. For the first time in centuries, the Galactic Council felt something close to fear. The Galactic Council reconvened under emergency authority, but control no longer belonged to them. Reports now arrived faster than debate could follow. Human operations were no longer defensive or reactive. They were coordinated, intentional, and expanding. What began as resistance had become momentum. Observers confirmed that Earth's industrial output had tripled within days. Civilian factories were converted in hours, not weeks. Old ships were stripped, rebuilt, and relaunched with mixed human and alien systems welded together without concern for elegance. Humanity did not wait for perfect designs. They built what worked and replaced what failed. A council economist spoke in disbelief. Human logistics did not rely on long supply lines. They used modular production, local resources, and rapid recycling of battlefield debris. Destroyed ships became raw material. Fallen satellites became armor. War fueled itself. Every attack against Earth increased its capacity to strike back. The greatest shock came when human fleets appeared simultaneously in multiple sectors. Not through faster engines, but smarter paths. Humans used unstable gravity wells, artificial debris clouds, and even planetary shadows to mask movement. They treated space as terrain, not emptiness. Council defenses designed for clean battle lines failed completely. The Council realized humans had not revealed their true strength earlier because they did not need to. Escalation was measured. Each step tested reactions, gathered data, and exposed weaknesses. Humanity fought like a scientist, not a conqueror. The war was an experiment, and the galaxy was the lab. Alien command structures collapsed under pressure. Humans targeted communication hubs, not population centers. They blinded fleets instead of destroying them, forcing commanders to act alone. This mirrored human doctrine. The enemy was being dragged into humanity's way of war, where confusion favored survival. A captured alien officer confirmed something worse. Humans were predicting council responses before they happened. Their AI systems modeled alien behavior using psychological profiles, historical pride patterns, and political hesitation. Humans understood not just how the Council fought, but why it fought. Council elders argued whether Earth had hidden allies. The answer was uncomfortable. Humanity stood mostly alone, but its defiance inspired others. Minor species began delaying support to the Council. Trade routes slowed, information leaked. The idea of resisting became contagious. Human messages finally reached the wider galaxy. They were not propaganda, they showed restraint. Humans avoided unnecessary destruction. They returned captured civilians unharmed. They documented every council violation carefully. Humanity was building a moral case alongside a military one. One message reached the council chamber directly. The human envoy appeared again, calm as before. He stated that Earth did not seek domination. It sought recognition of sovereignty. The words were simple, but backed by force now impossible to ignore. Behind him, real-time footage played. Human fleets held formation around a captured council fortress, disabling its weapons without firing on living quarters. Precision replaced rage. Strength was displayed through control, not excess. The council understood the final truth. Earth's strength was never hidden technology or numbers. It was adaptability combined with restraint. Humans chose when to escalate and when to stop. That choice belonged to them now. As the envoy ended transmission, new alerts spread across the chamber. Human fleets had reached a defensive line once thought unreachable. Galaxy's balance had shifted. Earth was no longer proving it could survive. It was proving it could decide the future. Panic was never supposed to reach the Galactic Council, yet it settled into the chamber like a spreading shadow. Emergency sessions overlapped, voices interrupted one another, and ancient procedures were ignored. The same leaders who once dismissed Earth now spoke of containment, negotiation, and survival. Humanity's advance was no longer theoretical. It was measurable, visible, and accelerating. A proposal for immediate ceasefire was raised. It failed within minutes, not because the Council rejected peace, but because no one could agree on terms. For the first time in centuries, the Council was negotiating from weakness. They did not know what humans would accept, or if they would accept anything at all. That uncertainty terrified them more than fleets ever had. Human operations continued without pause. They did not rush toward the Council's core worlds. Instead, they tightened pressure around key systems, cutting resources, isolating military assets, and leaving civilian trade untouched. It was restraint with purpose. Humanity was forcing the Council to feel every consequence of its own structure. An intelligence report revealed another mistake. Humans had not just learned alien technology, they had learned alien politics. They knew which species feared public shame, which valued honor, and which survived on secrecy. Human diplomats quietly contacted minor members, offering protection, transparency, and neutrality. One by one, support for the Council fractured. The Council attempted a show of strength, ordering a unified fleet demonstration near a neutral system. Humans did not challenge it, they observed. When the fleet dispersed, human forces disabled its supply chain hours later without firing a shot. Ships sat powerless, intact but useless. The message was unmistakable. Internal dissent erupted. Younger council members questioned elder leadership openly. Accusations spread. Who authorized the strike on Earth? Who suppressed early warnings? Who ignored dissenting analysts? The unity that defined the council began to unravel under its own weight. Another human transmission arrived, addressed not to the council, but to the galaxy. It listed the initial attack authorization, the species responsible, and the evidence. No threats followed, no demands, just facts. Humanity understood something the council never had. The truth could be more destabilizing than violence. Military advisors urged decisive action before Earth grew stronger. The problem was time. Every delay empowered humanity. Every escalation risked total loss. Humans did not fight to conquer territory. They fought to change the rules of engagement. The Council realized it was losing control of the narrative, the battlefield, and the future. A senior elder finally requested direct negotiation with the human envoy. The response came quickly. Talks would happen, but not under Council authority. They would take place in neutral space, broadcast openly, and include observers from non-member species. The Council hesitated. Accepting meant admitting fault. Refusing meant isolation. While debate continued, human fleets executed their boldest maneuver yet. They bypassed fortified borders and appeared near a Council archive world, the center of historical records and identity. They did not attack. They transmitted a single line. "We know who you are." That was enough. The Council understood the final escalation was not military. It was existential. Humanity was not trying to destroy the Council. It was stripping away its illusion of control. Authority without trust collapsed quickly. And trust, once broken, could not be forced back into place. As the chamber fell into fractured silence once more, one truth became unavoidable. This war could no longer be won by the Council. It could only be ended on humanity's terms. The neutral station chosen for the negotiations drifted between star systems. And unarmed, its location public to all. The Galactic Council arrived with escorts but powered down their weapons before docking. Across the void, human ships waited at a distance, not hiding, not threatening, simply present. The galaxy watched through open broadcasts as history narrowed to this single moment. The human delegation entered without ceremony, no banners, no displays of power, just representatives from Earth.com and direct. The same envoy from the first council meeting stood at the center. He looked unchanged, but the room around him was not. Council members who once towered with confidence now measured their words carefully. The balance had shifted, and everyone knew it. The council spoke first. They admitted the strike on Earth was unjustified, based on flawed assessments and arrogance. The words were formal, rehearsed, and late. The envoy listened without interruption. When the council finished, silence followed, not hostile silence. Expectant silence. The envoy spoke simply. Humanity did not come to demand territory, tribute, or obedience. Earth did not want a throne. It wanted assurance. No more secret votes. No more silent exterminations labeled as security actions. Humans demanded transparency, equal standing, and consequences for those who authorized the attack. Some council members protested. Punishment would fracture the council. The envoy answered without anger. So did the attack on Earth, he said. We survived. You must now decide if your system can. Evidence was presented, courted orders, timelines, names. Humanity had not rushed revenge. It had documented everything. The galaxy watched as the truth unfolded. Species once proud lowered their gaze. Minor worlds saw, for the first time, that the council could be held accountable. The council tried one last question. What would happen if they refused? The envoy did not threaten war. He stated a fact. Humanity would continue acting independently. It would defend itself and others. The council would become irrelevant, not destroyed, but ignored. Power without legitimacy would fade. That truth struck harder than any fleet. After hours of debate broadcast to billions, the council voted. Those responsible for the attack on Earth were removed, publicly named, and stripped of authority. Reparations were agreed upon. Most importantly, the council accepted Earth as a sovereign equal, not a subject, not an exception. Across human space, there was no celebration broadcast. No victory speeches. Earth's response was quiet. The construction continued. Fleets stood down gradually, but readiness remained. Humanity had learned too much to forget caution. Other species reached out to Earth directly. Some asked for protection, others for alliance. Humans responded selectively, emphasizing mutual defense and shared rules. They did not rush to lead. They built frameworks that could survive without them at the center. The council chamber, once a symbol of fear, changed. Seats were restructured, votes recorded openly, observers allowed. The galaxy did not become peaceful overnight, but it became honest. That alone altered everything. The human envoy delivered a final statement before departing. "We were attacked because we were misunderstood," he said. "Now you understand us. We do not seek to rule the galaxy. We seek to live in it without kneeling." As the station drifted back into obscurity, one message spread faster than any fleet ever had. Humanity was not dangerous because it was strong. It was dangerous because it learned, adapted, and refused to accept a future decided by others. The galaxy would never forget the question that started it all. "You attacked Earth?"